is undergoing a massive, honestly unprecedented, diving straight into how the India's legal landscape is undergoing a massive, honestly unprecedented shift right now. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into how the Indian judicial system is actively fighting back against heinous crimes targeting minors. This isn't just some minor update, it's a monumental moment in India's legal history. We're seeing the defense of the most vulnerable populations take absolute center stage. By looking closely at a few recent landmark rulings, we can see exactly how the courts are throwing the book at offenders to protect the innocent. This systemic shift is literally designed to make society fundamentally safer for the next generation. So let's get into it.
20 years to life imprisonment. Now, you see those numbers, and they aren't just dry statistics on a page. They are a resounding, unmistakable message echoing across the nation. They prove that crimes against children are being met with the absolute maximum extent of the law. The courts are deliberately stripping away leniency, establishing a massive deterrent through sheer, undeniable judicial force.
Which brings us to Section 1, Justice for Minors.
Okay, so if we look across the state of Gujarat, we're seeing this uncompromising pattern of accountability really start to take shape. Take a look at this. In Ahmedabad, the court tackled international trafficking and rape using the POCSO Act, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offenses Act, which is that dedicated framework for these specific crimes, alongside the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, or BNS. The result? Heavy 20 and 14-year sentences. Over in Aravali, a horrific rape and murder case resulted in an immediate life sentence. And then in Rajkot, a really shocking case of abetment to suicide and sexual harassment by a family member, that also culminated in life imprisonment. The consistency in these maximum penalties is just striking.
Let's zoom in on that first one in Section 2, dismantling trafficking rings.
So, in this highly complex 2024 case involving two teenage girls who were trafficked from Bangladesh, the special PSCO court acted with incredible precision. Sagar Milan Mandal from West Bengal got 20 years, while Muhammad Farooq from Bangladesh got 14. But here's the really crucial point. They were convicted under a web of overlapping laws, the BNS, the PSCO Act, and the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. It's like a legal net. These overlapping laws are being aggressively utilized to lock away traffickers for decades, specifically dismantling the exploitation of vulnerable foreigners. It ensures that jurisdictional borders just don't offer an escape route anymore.
But the pursuit of justice doesn't just magically end when the gavel falls. Safely deporting the victims and their mother back to Bangladesh in December 2024, right after their official statements were recorded, well, it actually created a whole new logistical headache for authorities. Right now, they're having to figure out how to physically pay court-ordered compensation to victims who don't even live in India anymore. It's a fascinating look at where domestic law crashes into international logistics. It really shows us that victim care extends way, way beyond the trial verdict itself.
Moving on to Section 3. Life sentences under POCSO.
Beyond trafficking, the courts are also handing down maximum punishments. We're talking life terms, in cases of extreme violence and domestic abuse. In the Aravali district, a tragic 2023 case involving the rape and murder of a 5-year-old girl ended with the convict getting life imprisonment and a 70,000 rupee fine. Then, if we look at the Rajkot district, we see the deeply unsettling 2021 suicide of a 16-year-old girl. Her own father was sentenced to life in prison for abetment of suicide. He was convicted under both POCSO and the traditional IPC. Both of these cases, even though they're completely different in nature, they show the judiciary using these legal frameworks to permanently remove perpetrators from society for the horrific actions.
I want you to hear this quote from the special PSO judge in that Rajkot case. If a father indulges in this kind of act and is allowed to remain in society, all fathers will feel ashamed whenever they see him. Wow. That brings such a profoundly human judicial voice to the data, doesn't it? It emphasizes the court's view on this ultimate breach of trust and parental responsibility. It reminds us that behind all the statutes and section numbers, the legal system is deeply concerned with preserving the moral fabric of society.
Which leads us directly into Section 4, mandating victim compensation. Because, let's be real, justice isn't solely about putting the bad guys behind bars. It requires building a financial scaffold for victims who are navigating severe trauma. Looking at these payouts, ranging from 75,000 to 5 lakh rupees, we're seeing a highly structured effort by the state. The Aravali victim's family got 5 lakhs, the 15-year-old in Ahmedabad got 4 lakhs. These numbers are a critical, measurable pillar of restorative justice. It's about providing real-world tangible support right alongside that legal retribution.
And here's where it gets really smart. To prevent any future exploitation of these funds, the Ahmedabad court basically built a financial force field around the 15-year-old victim. They mandated that 80% of the 4 lakh rupee compensation be locked into a fixed deposit at a nationalized bank. Those funds are completely untouchable until she officially reaches the age of majority. Then, the remaining 20% is paid directly into a joint account for her and her mother to handle their immediate day-to-day needs. By structuring it this way, the court actively ensures the minor's financial future is shielded.
Let's look at the bigger picture now in Section 5, the shift to BNS.
So, what does this all mean? Well, this isn't just about a few isolated rulings. It's a massive structural evolution. Under the old Indian Penal Code, protections for women and children were scattered across various chapters like a giant puzzle, making legal navigation incredibly complex. But now, under the newly implemented Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, or BNS, these crucial protections are consolidated. They're prioritized and placed front and center in a dedicated section, Chapter 5. It's a huge shift, proving that protecting minors is no longer just a legal afterthought. It's a core, centralized pillar of modern Indian law.
While it smartly retains the foundational core of the old IPC, this modernization closes some really long-standing loopholes. It introduces simplified legal language so people can actually understand it, it enforces decidedly stricter penalties, and refines legal definitions. Crucially, and this is a big one, it incorporates brand new provisions specifically targeting technology-driven crimes. So the transition to the BNS is not just slapping a new name on an old book, it's a necessary modernization designed to handle a whole new era of digital and physical threats against minors.
So as we fully transition into this new era, a really critical question remains. How will rapidly evolving technology, combined with this new, dedicated legal framework, continue to shape the protection of vulnerable populations in the future? It's a complex puzzle that legal scholars, judges, and quite frankly, all of us as citizens will be navigating for decades to come. Thanks for joining me on this explainer today, and keep questioning how our systems are evolving to protect the most innocent among us.